Thank you very much, Presiding Officer, and at the outset I'd like to congratulate you on your role as Deputy Presiding Officer. I'm pleased to speak in this debate, and it's clear that there are a few issues to be considered, and I'm going to focus my comments on three of them. The first one is the present situation facing education, also the alternative certification model. The second is the first 100 days of this new Scottish Government, and also the third, the then longer term future of education and what this SNP Scottish Government intends to do. I listened to the Cabinet Secretary yesterday and also today, in addition to MSPs from across the chamber who raised legitimate questions about the situation facing school students and also the exam replacement this year. And as a constituency MSP, I know how challenging the situation was last summer when the results were published and the anger and frustration that then developed. I know constituents believed the situation wasn't acceptable, but I do also know that the exam replacement that was brought together in a short space of time as a consequence of the pandemic. The one thing that certainly was abundantly clear was the use of an algorithm which appeared to have a negative effect upon less well-off communities like mine. And just because a postcode is less salubrious, it shouldn't mean that children in that area have another impediment to put in their way as they attempt to learn. The confirmation from the Cabinet Secretary yesterday when she said this, those grades will be based not on historical data or on the use of an algorithm, but on what each individual learner has demonstrated that they know, understand and can do through the work on which they have been assessed in school or college. It indicates to me that this valuable lesson from last year has certainly been learned. Now, clearly the creation of the National Qualifications 2021 group, established in October 2020, with representatives of teachers, learners and parents working alongside the local authorities, the Scottish Qualifications Authority and also the government, was the right thing to do. This partnership approach to design this year's arrangements is hugely important, and I fully support a partnership approach. I'm quite sure that if there was no partnership approach, then politicians from across the chamber would be challenging the Scottish Government on a lack of partnership. We hear that all the time. But that challenge would have been correct, and also it would have been supported in the chamber and also across the country. The second point I want to touch upon is that of the first 100 days of this Parliament. And I want to ensure that barriers are removed to allow our young people the chance to learn. And this is why I was delighted to support the SNP manifesto, which had the following as key parts of our educational ambitions. And these are only some of the excellent initiatives in the manifesto. First of all, to fund councils to increase teacher numbers by 1,000 and classroom assistants by 500 as part of our commitment to 3,500 additional teachers and classroom assistants over the parliamentary term. Secondly, the rollout of the £20 million summer programme of help for pupils, helping children socialise, play and reconnect with children and their families able to access activities to help them recover from the pandemic. And I was pleased to see that Inverclyde Council announced their holiday hubs on the 26th of May, which are being delivered by the Council in partnership, once again, with the Scottish Government and also Children in Scotland. The third point was that the pay for the first instalment of the expanded £1 billion Scottish Attainment Fund. Thirdly, the abolition of fees for music and arts education, including instrumental music tuition in schools, and also renew the funding for Systema. As somebody who learned an instrument as a child, I know how important this activity is, as well as the long-term benefits of playing an instrument actually affords that individual. Abolishing these fees are actually an investment in the future. The fourth point is that the abolition of the core curriculum charges for all pupils, enabling children to take the subjects they want without families having to struggle to meet the costs of resources and also materials for practical lessons. This will be transformational for many, many young people. The next point I want to highlight is the beginning of the planning for provision of tablets and laptops to all school children. I know how important this will be for many communities in my constituency. Then we've got the agreeing of the first allocation of funding to councils for the refurbishment of play parks. I'd like to highlight, however, that equipment that is accessible for children with disabilities is just as important for this investment. If some of that equipment has already been installed in Inverclyde, it's first class and I welcome it. and I really would like to see more of it, certainly in my constituency, but also across the country. Final point in this section concerns children with visual impairments. I was pleased to hear what the Cabinet Secretary said earlier regarding the Sight Scotland briefing, and I'm sure a reconvened cross-party group of visual impairment, which I've chaired for the last 2 sessions, we'd be delighted to invite you, Cabinet Secretary, to attend a meeting in due course to discuss issues about young people and educational and employment challenges. And I know that Jamie Hepburn, in his previous role, that he did attend the cross-party group in the last session. The final point I would like to touch upon is that concerning the review into the SQA and Education Scotland, touched upon by the Cabinet Secretary earlier. I was pleased to hear what the Cabinet Secretary said yesterday in reply to my question about a review, and fully acknowledge the two OECD reports and other work that is underway. A reform based on functioning governance is crucial, and I would hope that any public involvement in such a review is robust. Every single MSP wants to improve our education system, and quite rightly, we should always be looking at improvements. However, I did think it was a bit rich to hear Oliver Mundell's comments about the past world-leading education system. Mr. Mundell is a member of the cross-party group in dyslexia, just like me, and he's also heard some of the same horror stories of how the so-called world-leading education system that he wants back, that he quoted earlier, failed many people over many years. I don't believe a system that allowed children to be told that they'll amount to nothing is world-leading. I don't believe a system that allowed children with dyslexia to be told that they were stupid is world-leading. I want an educational system that nurtures, not stigmatises, a system that encourages, not castigates. Continual improvement in education, just as in every other aspect of life, is necessary, and helping our young people on this journey is a challenge that we must step up to. And over the course of the next 5 years, I'm quite sure we will.